Welcome back to RuralVacantLand.com. This is Luke Smith, and I'm excited to be streaming live again, talking about land. So, run this little website called RuralVacantLand.com, and we have a bunch of land for sale on there. And if you guys are subscribed to this, you're probably getting the notification that this live stream is on, and maybe a couple people are just signing on. And I just been traveling around the last couple weeks. Last week we did a session with Seth Williams. I'll That's in my channel. You can go back and see that one. Before that, I did a little short session from my mom's cabin in northern Michigan, on Lake Michigan, and now we're back to where I'm living in Southern California, and got this little office set up in my house. And I think later today I'm going to look at some other office space because I want to move out of the house so I can have more time to focus on land deals and less interruptions with the wife and kids. So that's one of the things for later today. Got a new schedule set up for this fall. I'm excited about it. I should have a lot more time to focus in on land deals and keep them coming, keep deals coming on multiple fronts, and get back to a lot of people I haven't been able to get back to recently. I feel like such an idiot because my to-do list is, I mean, it's starting to look like a phone book, and I really need to grind in there and knock things out. So I think one of the first steps there is getting this office out of the house so I can have more time to focus in on that. So that's one of the projects for today. But first, let's talk about land. So I've got the website pulled up. I see a bunch of comments going by. John Burshus and hi John. Hello everyone from Wales again. Good evening to you. Good morning to us. Hi Luke and people watching. Hi guys. Hello Luke. Great session with Seth. Good. Yeah, I thought we'd get some more questions, but it worked out fine. Seth's a great guy. He does. If you guys don't know who Seth Williams is, he runs a little website. I'll pull it up here. We'll see what's on the website. His website is RE Tipster, RE like real estate, tipster. I didn't spell it right. I didn't even get close. retipster.com. And so let's see if that comes through. Maybe the part where I spelled is off the screen. So retipster.com. I don't know why it's taken so long to load, but eventually this will pull up here. And he's got this blog. He's been putting his thoughts in writing over time about different real estate endeavors he's into and angles he goes for. And he does rental houses in, I think mainly Wayne County, Michigan. Not Wayne County. He's in, I forget, Kent County, Michigan, like Grand Rapids area. And that market's been really hot. It's been coming around really well. It was really dead before. I don't know. The website seems to be taking forever to load here. So he also does YouTube videos. He's on YouTube. Seth Williams. If you look up Seth Williams and RE Tipster. Oh, look, this website's polished since I've seen it before. He doesn't like my ad blocker. So he's got land education, resources, podcast. He's got a podcast and a blog. I wonder what the land education is. I think he started selling real estate education for land. I'm not exactly sure everything he sells, but in the past I've learned a lot from him. So I was in Michigan and we did a meetup, and I helped him with some of the stuff he's working on, and he came on and did a live session last week. So feel free to go back and look at the feeds. Oh, look at this. What we're waiting. So he's got prices. He's doing memberships of all kinds of education stuff. Yeah, so there we go. Okay. So he's got a neat website, and the blog is where I first started hearing about him and learning when I was researching doing land deals, a couple years ago. And then he did YouTube videos, and he's done some nice YouTube videos. You can learn a lot from his YouTube videos. So I'd highly recommend those if you're going down the education side of looking up land. Also, the other thing I wanted to point out is I meant to pull this up is there's a live meetup in Redondo Beach, California for Land Academy. See if I can get Land Academy. Well, live event. I'm going to be speaking at this live event. So if you guys are interested in going to further down the rabbit hole of land education, this 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 event, Land Investors Live, looks like they have a new website since I've been here too. So I think this is, well, there's my bald head in the background there. This is the last year's session. So here's event info. We'll see when it is, because I gotta I booked the hotel, but I gotta remember when this is too. So Saturday, October 5th. Okay, so we still have a little over a month till that's coming up. I'm not sure if it's sold out or if they still got stuff available or what, but Saturday, October 5th is the main thing. Yeah, so they're talking about different pieces of the show in there and how they're putting it together. So we could go to that live event if you guys are interested in that. Okay, so back to the meat of this, what I want to talk about. I want to talk about land that we've got up for sale on the website, and the new ones that are coming up. We'll see if I hit some of these comments. Probably everyone wants me to call them back because I haven't been keeping on top of calls here the last little bit. Lonely Prepper Homestead says, greetings, everyone. Good morning. And Shelby Land Deals says, good morning. August Bradshaw, good morning. TK Dawes, I need you to give me a call immediately. My land is still not recorded. My name has not been corrected. Okay, so TK Dawes, land recorded. Okay, we'll figure that out. Jeff Hinckley, hello. Dave Tassiet, good morning. Luke, TK Dawes, I've already bought my ticket to go there for my B-Day in September. Nice. So, TK Dawes, sounds like he's going to the live show. That sounds good. I really better get that thing in your name before I see you there, right? So, good morning, everybody. Backwoods Bungalow, RE Tipster YouTube channel too. Okay, so that's the YouTube channel too, is RE Tipster. Robert Suez, good morning, Luke. Good morning, guys. Jeff Hinckley, you have hair now. I do. I don't know about that. Hey, Luke and everyone. Good morning from America. Good morning from Oregon. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Eric M says, good morning from Oregon. So I guess Eric, he was just driving through. So I guess he's back up to Oregon. Hopefully he got some good pictures and stuff, some of the properties we're working on. So I haven't checked in with what's for sale on the website in a bit because I've been traveling around. I've just been busy, right? Like, this is the first day the kids are back in school. I finally get a chance to catch up on multiple fronts. So let's take a look at what we have on the website, and feel free to ask questions, point out flaws, things I need to get fixed. I know one of the main things I need to get fixed on these most recent listings is my data feed for the coordinates of where the outlines of the properties is down, and I haven't got it fixed yet. I got to get that fixed. It's not just paying the bill. I got to figure out how to get it set up to pay the bill on it. They changed the feed, so I got to fix that. So my office has been squawking like we need to get the data to get the maps going. So I'll work on that today too. So $1,000 here from Curtis. Curtis has this one, $1,000, 0.62 acres in Carroll County, Arkansas. I'm not even sure where that's at. Arkansas, I summons, but I don't know where Carroll County is. I don't know if it's down the south in the trees or up in the Ozarks in the north. It looks like there's a river and it's a bunch of hills and farmland in the area. He says, contact Billy. I think that might be his son. Let's see if we got the GPS on here. So we got the GPS. We can see where this one is. This is the old-fashioned way. Click the GPS and it pulls up Google Maps, because we don't have the interactive maps going right now, so I'm going to work on that. So it's in the north. It's up by the Missouri-Arkansas state line. It looks like it's it's 0.6 acres in the woods. We'll see if we got street view and stuff. This looks like chain of lakes. Okay, so the chain of lakes is just north of there. And is this the... Okay, so we're we're much more west in Arkansas than a lot of the properties I've had before have been over here in central Arkansas. So Fayette, Springdale, we're closer to the bigger towns over here. So I think you get higher prices. I've had a lot of people asking for properties in this area. I've never had them, so it's nice to have one on the website now to point people to. So let's zoom in on this. Let's see if we can get some street view on this guy. I kind of doubt it over here, but oh, hey, we can. Look at that. Okay, so look at street view. Let's see what this looks like. It looks like they're using mobile homes in the area, and I'm not sure exactly where this property is if I hit it right. I think it's right here. Hopefully this is the right property. So it looks like there's a telephone or power pole with transformer, so that should be cheaper to hook up to. They're probably drilling wells for water out here, I would guess. There's probably no sewer. I don't see any manholes. I don't think there's enough infrastructure out here. Is that a manhole? I doubt it. You're probably drilling a well and building a septic out here. Looks like the mail delivers and Google Street View drove by, so it looks like a good solid piece of land you could put a mobile home on. I don't know if the regulations will let you do RV living there or not, but it's good to look at. I'm sure you can do a house if you want to do a house. So here's another one just came on, like while I'm clicking update, we got another Carroll. So here's another $1,000 for 0.76 acres in Carroll County, Arkansas. So Curtis is just listing them while we're talking, I guess. 0.76 acres. Let's see if the GPS is working on this one yet. Seems to be coming up. Yeah, but let's see if I can get through my whole to-do list and everything before this live event comes up. Get all the mailers out, get a whole bunch of land bought, new deals flying, get them all financed, get them all marketed, hopefully a bunch of them sold. Should be a good fall. Whole lot of land deals. So this looks like the same neighborhood, maybe a different street. Let's see if we can zoom in on this one. Let's see if we got street view on here. Is this the same one? No, this isn't the same one. I think the other one's right up here. This is really close. Just a couple lots over. Yeah, so we got, looks like they had a for sale sign on it in the past. So you've got got some trees, some leafy trees and some pine trees, and power pole, utilities, ready to go. Looks like you put a mobile home on there, put a mobile and rent it out. My Uncle Brian used to do that all the time. He'd buy a big chunk of land and then put multiple mobile homes on it and rent them out. He's creative, We used to go, he used to have me dig holes to try to check the septic to see if we could get it to perk. So in Michigan, what you would do, I don't know about other parts of the country, but in Michigan, Remus and Mecosta County, Michigan, where my uncle would do this, it was you take a 5-gallon bucket, classic Home Depot bucket or local AutoZone bucket or whatever, and you dig a hole the same size of that bucket and you fill that bucket with water, 5 gallons of water. Try not to spill it because you're trying to measure that 5 gallons of water. You go dump that 5 gallons of water in that 5-gallon hole, the same depth, same width, and you time it. And there was a time, I think it was like 80% of the water had to be gone within, 60 seconds, or I forget the timing. You could look up the timing for your local area to see what perks and what doesn't. And when that would go down, he'd be like, okay, it'll perk. My Uncle Brian was a really logical guy. He's really smart, really nice. He's like, now we can go get it tested by the county and do a county test. But you do that before you get the county to come out and test it, because he always bought the swampland, the cheapest stuff around to put trailers on, put mobiles on, and he'd rent them out. He'd rent them for like $250 a month or $300 a month or something. And he was the negotiator of all negotiators. He'd find these trailers and he'd move them to the properties. He'd haggle every little step of the way. So this one's 0.92 acres. This is a smaller property. This one is $4,200. This Curtis has this one. It's in Wood County, Texas. We'll pull this up. But the point of my story was that he would test to see if the land would perk before, we didn't do it before he bought the land, but he did it, which would probably make more sense if you did it before you bought the land, if you're a local, right? But I've had people ask me if they can do that before they buy the land from me, and yeah, sure. If you just go fill the hole back in afterwards, I don't want somebody to break their leg in it. But you can test different parts of the property and see where the water goes away the quickest, and that's the best place to go get it to put in a septic system. And when you have the city or the county or whoever come out and test your land, or environmental company that gets the inspector to come by and test it, that's you can point them to the right place. You don't have to pay the professionals a bunch to go dig around and test it, 'cause that's basically what they're doing, some version of that same test. So here we've got power lines, we've got a road, we've got some neighbors. These, I don't know if this is these look like mobile homes in the area here too, so it's probably mobile homes, and I think these are by a lake. Let's see if I'm thinking this might be, yeah. So this is, what lake is this? Curtis keeps finding these properties by the lake, and I think they're good mobile home lots by the lake. And if this would load, it'd probably tell me the name of the lake. It's called Lake Fork. So $4,200 in Texas. This is Lake Fork. Texas has some of the least regulations ever on what you can and can't do with the property. It's just make it wide open, go for it. So this looks like it's kind of towards the back of the neighborhood, and you got some neighbors already built in there, so you know it's able to happen. And people are just, they're building out the neighborhood and going for it. I mean, $4,200 for a piece of land by the lake. I mean, you better spend the rest of the money on a boat, because you're going to be boating around that property a lot. My kids had a lot of fun boating these last 2 weeks in northern Michigan. I miss that here in Southern California. I like boating in Southern California. It's just a bigger ordeal. There's just more people. It's harder to get access to. So that's a nice looking property. $143 a year taxes. 40 acres in Apache County. I should be asking questions. Let me check up the questions here first. It says, hi, Luke, and you land banisters. Yeah, good morning from Alabama, Luke. Good morning, Clarence. Tammy W. Says, good morning, Luke. Tammy from Phoenix here, sending love and good fortune for everyone. Thanks, Tammy. TK Dawes. And did that land next to me get sold? I think the land next to you, I'm pretty sure they're making payments. I'd have to go check again, make sure what the story was. I mix up a lot of the land deals. Jason L. I think that's Jason Lydiard, if I'm correct. Question: I have an amazing property, 10 acres on water in Florida. Seller accepted $9K. It's worth $50 to $80K. Title did search and came back with $100K lien from the previous owner. There's a question. Let's see what the rest of the story is. Jason L. Not the owner now. Anyway, I could buy it without paying $100K loan. Yeah, there's, I would go research the loan. The loan might be, I wouldn't want to be buying it with a $100K loan and then selling it on my website with a $100K loan. This is more of a, get some realtors involved and something more in between, a lawyer, stamps of approval and that kind of stuff before you sell it. But it depends who that money, let's answer this question. I'll get back into land. Depends who that money is due to. Like, I've had examples where I've found liens in the past that are due to, child support, for example, and it's 3 people ago that own the land, and you call them up and you say, call the state or whoever it is trying to collect the child support and putting the lien on there, and say, that's not the person that owns the land anymore. You're going after the wrong people. Is there anything we can do about this? So you say, oh, sorry, we'll get it fixed, and they'll get it taken off. Or the title company will have them sign something to get it taken off. So you might be able to do that. You might be able to do some workout with the person that someone in the past owns the money to. You might be able to haggle out something. You might be able to give them 10 cents on the dollar. It's better than what they're getting now is nothing. You might be able to give them 20 cents on a dollar. I don't know, haggle something out with them, pay off something on that deal, and close it out through a title company, and have the title company absolutely make sure to get rid of that lien with the paperwork that they do. But you could offer them some lesser amount of money than the $100,000, because if you think the property's worth 50 or more and you're paying less than 10, maybe you offer them 10 grand or something. You end up paying 16 or 20 grand to buy the property when you think it's worth 50, and you solve everybody's problems. That might be a way. You might look and see if the person that you owe the money to is still are they still around? Are they still alive? Or was it like, Washington Mutual Bank or something that disappeared in 2008? I mean, yeah, those liabilities went on to JP Morgan, but I mean, my example, maybe that was a bad example. So see if that they're still alive around, if they still have a pulse, if anyone's bought up their the list of everyone that owes them money. They might be dead and gone, and you might be able to work out something with an attorney that basically stamps that stuff null and void and gone. Trying to think of another way. There's different paperwork you can do to get rid of it that basically posts in the newspapers, and you send mail to everybody that might be involved, like certified mail at a certain intervals depending on where the property is, that says, come forward now and claim what you think is yours or forever hold your peace. And if you go through that process, like a quiet title process, it might take some time. It might cost you some money, but that might get rid of it. It might be like, my sister's doing that on houses in Detroit right now for $1,500. I know in California it's more like $5,000. I don't know what it is in Florida to get it done right. But that kind of legal process. So it's probably something between Michigan and California pricing of $1,500 and $5,000. $5,000 is like, where the fees start on some of them. I'm sure you can hire some less expensive ones, but that's where the attorneys start showing up and paying attention. Trying to think of other ways. I'm sure there's other ways, but I would try to get a hold of who that money is owed to and figure out what the story really is. See if there's some error in there. Like it might not even be indexed to the right property. Like their legal description might not match the legal description of the property. It might be the neighborhood, or it might be something close but not. And there might be some ambiguities there, like they made a mistake and that lien shows up when you search for that property, but it's not really supposed to be on that property. I found out those kinds of things happen a lot too in real estate. I'm sure there's other ways, but that's what I can think of off the top of my head. I would first go look at the details of it and see if there's some gaping holes in there and talk to them, see if they're there, see if they're cognizant, see if they actually chase you for the money. And take it from there. You sell it, and you tell the person you're selling it to it's got this lien, but they're dead, they're gone, they're not chasing for the money, they're, whatever the story is that you find out. So that's the idea. Thanks for the good question, Jason. Cryptocurrency asset classes. So it's forensic audits. The guy changed his name. He's got this interesting YouTube channel. He's on here commenting. He was talking about quiet titling real estate in the past, and that really got me interested. So I started following a lot of his stuff. He's saying it's forensic audit. Matrix portfolio, please find me some land in Florida. I need a property under $50,000 in West Palm Beach. There you go. West Palm Beach under $50,000. Jason's saying lien, not loan. Yeah, lien, loan. I mean, it's my understanding is the same thing. Like they've got a recorded piece of paper out there that you owe them money. It says it's a federal lien. Oh, geez. Like federal, like somebody didn't pay their taxes, or federal, like environmental. Environmental, I'd just run the other way. If they didn't pay their taxes or something, I'd see what the timeline is on that. Like how long does the timeline go? The timeline might be done and gone. Might be 10-year timeline that they could try. I don't know if there's a timeline on it or not. Maybe federal doesn't have a timeline. Yeah, Iowawa says, nice to see a description of the actual lien for sure. Exactly. I would go pull the recorded stuff on it and see what's there. See if they even have the right property first off. And see if there's contact information, who the people are. TK Dawes says, do you have 8-acre land near mines for sale? Nothing more than 20 to 30 minutes away from my land. I'm not sure, TK. We should look at the maps. I can't remember exactly what land yours is without digging into the databases and figuring out which one you bought. There's Cochise County, 4 acres, if I remember right. And I sold so many of those Cochise County 4 acres. I mean, they're scattered all across the county. So I'd have to go dig in the databases. Conversation we should probably have in a different venue. I'll I'll call you back about it here, and we'll try to figure that out too. Digger 420 says, did you sell that parcel of land on Murder Mountain in Mendocino yet? No, I didn't sell the land on Murder Mountain yet. I had an offer. I got a realtor on it. Nice girl. And she lives in the area, and she sold other properties on Murder Mountain. And she was like, I'll take the listing. She drove right out there to get pictures and check it out and everything. And she has no problem. I mean, she's a younger girl driving up there alone, taking pictures, checking out land, taking people up there for tours. It's not as bad as the Netflix show makes it out to be. A lady that was asking to buy it just this last week was through the realtor, and she was offering, I think, 10% down and payments from there for 5 years or something. And I was asking for more. I want more down or cash. I'd like to get cash on that one. The partner I've got involved in that one would like cash, not a payment plan. So we're looking for a cash buyer on that property in Mendocino County. And it's a 10-acre property, and it's surrounded by big greenhouses, and there's a lot of marijuana production in the area. And the lady that wanted it last week, she wanted to live there. She wanted to put a mobile home on the property and live there and in peace and quiet and away from everybody. And she thought that'd be a nice place to live. And she had checked out the property, and she was ready to go for it. I just want more money down. Number 04, have you ever come across a piece of land you've wanted for yourself or regretted selling? Of course. Tons of these properties I regret selling. I mean, the ones I want for myself are the best ones, right? From my opinion. It's other people have different opinions. Let's go back and look at some of the land. I mean, I see that again and again. So just before I went on this trip to Michigan 2 weeks ago, I went up and I looked at the property that we've got on Palomar Mountain in San Diego, California. And I bought it with an investor, and so it's I'm just checking on the property. It's got a cabin on it. I was checking on the cabin, just checking in. And the two of the properties that were near there that were for sale a couple months ago have sold. And I wanted to look up, I haven't had a chance. I wanted to look up the prices and see what they sold for. And I wanted to see who the realtor was that sold those two. And there was one more property up there for sale that was new for sale. And I wondered if it's the same realtor that sold those two that's got the new listing. I got the contact information for the guy on the new listing, and I wanted to compare notes with him. If it's all the same realtor that's moving property up there, I'll probably hire a realtor to try to get that property sold, because they can present it and give them tours and everything. But I mean, it's just big, beautiful views looking out at the islands like Catalina Island, San Clemente Island, Coronado Islands, offshore Southern California, islands that I love to go fishing at, that are dear to my heart. And seeing the ocean and the islands and the setting and the hills between this mountain and the beach and those islands, and living in the trees that are there. It's the same kinds of trees that are growing in northern Michigan. Not all of them, but some of them are the same kinds of trees that I'm used to as a kid in northern Michigan. So that kind of stuff, it's nostalgic to me, and it touches a different chord than some of these other properties that we have. And so that one is one that I'd like to keep. I'd check in the internet connections and stuff up there. We could get high-speed internet connections. I could do this live show from that property if I set it up right. I could have that view in the background of the show. I could use it as an office, like a secondary office, maybe a couple times a week or something. Drive up there, and total dead quiet, silence, top of the mountain, awesome views kind of setting. I mean, that property has a special spot in my heart. I think I'm asking $98,000 for it. It's 0.79 or 0.89. It's just shy of an acre, and it's got a driveway, and it's got a water line to the property, power line to the property, but they're not hooked up. It's just a little rustic cabin, and it's got a greenhouse if somebody wants to greenhouse it up, and it's got big views, and there's a lot more land there that's not being used. So you could use the cabin to go build your forever home in, but you could live in the cabin while you're building it. I just think it'd be a really good setup for the right person. I'm surprised that one hasn't sold. I should pull it up on the screen, but I mean, if you go to San Diego County and ruralvacantland.com and look at for $98,000, you can see that one. So let's move on. The next one we got in the list here is 40 acres. It's in Apache County, Arizona. Apache County has all these juniper trees, and you can get in between. So we've got Rod Hall on here. Thanks, Rod. Rod must be new to the website. I've had a couple new people sign up to the website. Much appreciated to that. And posting properties. Their names sound so familiar. I just haven't welcomed to the website yet. So thanks, Rob, for signing up to the website. Rod. He's asking $8,900 for this property. It's in Apache County, Arizona, and it's he's got GPS. Looks like he made a video about it too. So I'd love to see that. We've got new people signing up to the website, and what I do is I charge $200 a month, for the guys that want to post their properties on the website. And you can post unlimited properties. The other websites charge you more the more properties you post. I think the more properties you post, the better. The least you should get charged, but I'm just keeping it flat at $200 per month. And if you don't sell anything, just ask for a refund or refund your money. So it's like you only get charged if you're selling something on the website. And I want properties that are like the other kinds of properties we've got on the website and that are competitively priced. If month after month after month your properties aren't selling, I feel like I should be doing something to promote them more, and or they're just not priced right, or they're not quality properties. That's why they don't sell. And I shouldn't be charging you, and probably shouldn't be listing them on the website if they're month after month after month they're not selling. I want a consolidated view of some of the cheapest land, the best land for sale in the country, and I believe that's what we have on ruralvacantland.com. So if you look at a lot of the sales of what's up for sale and what's sold, I think it's some of the cheapest, best quality stuff around, and that's what keeps people coming back. And I want to keep that going. So he's got this property. It's 40 acres. Looks like there's a road on a couple sides, per the north and the east side of the property. It looks like it's got the juniper trees going. So this is Apache County. You can drive up in an RV, which a lot of my clients have done. They bought land from me and they go to Apache County. They buy it the same day, and they'll move in their RV and they just live there. They'll live there for years without putting in a septic system. I think you're supposed to, by law, it says you're supposed to put in a septic system, but it's not very well enforced. It'd still be a good idea to have a septic system, but you don't have to build one like the day you get there or before you move in, like a lot of places require you to. This looks like up Which Wells Ranches, maybe. Let's see. I'm zooming out on it. Which Wells is over here. So this is in the middle, more towards the middle of the county. Let's see. So St. John's down to the south. We got Concho down to the south. If we go further south down to Show Low, Pine Top, you'll get like Home Depot, Walmart kinds of supplies. But you can get, there's a grocery store in St. John's. You get the basic supplies there. And this is just wide open country. You got these little roads all over. Here's Witchwell Tavern. You could probably turn off there, maybe. I'm not sure if that connects up or not. But follow these roads to get in and out of here. Looks like roads go up to the property, and it might be far enough out. You're going to want like some jerry cans of gas to get in and out of there the first time, especially until you figure out your route. And then you can park in these trees, and you're not going to see any neighbors. Like, these things block the view. You're still going to have a big sky view, but you're not going to see neighbors because of these trees, Arizona style trees. So that's really neat. You can have 40 acres for $8,900. Thanks, Rod, for bringing that one to the table. Sandy Cristo, Castilla County, $2,997. Rod Hall's got another one here. It's in Castilla County, Colorado. Just over an acre. Looks like there's a road you can drive up. There might be some markers on the property if those are the actual pictures of the property. Let's see if we can pull this up. Well, we can use this map here too. So let's use this map. Sanchez Reservoir. Looks like a bunch of roads around the area. This county, you can do, I think it's a 600 square foot cabin. If I've got the zoning right in my head, I've got a lot of counties bouncing around in there, but I believe you can start with a 600 square foot cabin in this county or more and go for it. And they let you camp different times of the year too. So you can't camp full time, but you can camp parts of the year. A lot of people will come in here and go elk hunting. There's a lot of elk hunting in the area. So they'll use one of these properties to help them get permits and help them have a place to stay while they go elk hunting. I'm not 100% sure how those rules work, but that's something to look into if you're interested. So here's some pictures of I believe, of the land. So there's pictures of the mountains in the area. This is probably the land. There's neighboring cabins. Looks like somebody built a log cabin. Did some standing seam metal roof. Looks like there's a power line near there. Some beautiful views of the mountains. So if you're interested in Colorado, I mean, looks like a beautiful area. Cheap. $2,997. 18 acres in Apache County. Let's see. This is probably Rod again. So we're gonna keep cruising through these. Let's see if I can answer some more questions, if there's any on there. Chiser Child says, "Good morning, Luke. Any chance you would be looking into land in Oklahoma? I love what you do and what you stand for. Would love to do business with you when it comes to purchasing my property." Yeah, so we've had properties in Oklahoma on the website before, and Tim had numerous of them, and I think they all sold out, and he stopped paying to list properties on the website because I don't think he had any more properties to sell. And Tim Flood, and I should look up and see if he's got more of them and try to get him back on the website if he's got more of those properties. But I don't believe we have a good selection of Oklahoma on the website right now. I mean, I should go look up Oklahoma, but website seems to be running slow, and more buttons I push, the slower it seems to go. But I'll try to get more Oklahoma. I don't have Oklahoma in my mind of what I'm going to mail, but we've got a dozen different people or so on the website continuously mailing cash offers to different parts of the country, coming up with the cheapest land in the area and presenting it on the website. So some of these other guys might come up with some, and that's what I'd stay tuned for, is these other guys. And if you're one of the guys that's got land for sale in Oklahoma, I mean, please let me know. I mean, we've got at least one person here looking for land in Oklahoma for sale. If you're a land dealer, if you're Tim Flood, is the guy I was thinking of, or whoever doing land deals in Oklahoma, I'd love to have him on the website. I mean, I only charge if you actually sell the land. I don't know any other websites like that to post land on. Greg G says, "Guess I'm talking to the wall." Did I miss something, Greg? Let's see. I don't think I missed any comments from you before. Yo, wow, I have trouble letting go of some old vehicles. So many memes. Yeah. I had trouble selling my boat. I sold my boat, guys. You know, how sad was that? I about wanted to cry selling my boat. So many good memories of that thing. But it's just getting old, and it's getting like, it's not kid friendly, and I got to do something more kid friendly. And what I would really like to do is the same as what I'm doing with the land. I would like to go down to the harbor, and the next boat I would like to keep in the marina. I mean, I hate paying the fees for that. I can't even, it just irks me thinking about paying the fees to keep a boat in a marina when I could keep it on a trailer. But it's a lot more convenient with the kids to walk up and jump in the boat and go look at boats that I like and put cash offers on the boat. I don't know if I should use duct tape, because like some people are really particular about the glue getting on stuff, but maybe some kind of tape that doesn't leave a residue, maybe frog tape or something, and write a cash offer, put it in like a Ziploc bag and stick it on there. So if they come visit the boat the next day, they'll probably yell at me because my offers are too low. But if they come visit the boat in like 3 to 6 months, they probably don't use that boat enough to make it worth it, and they might take my offer and I might get a good looking boat for a lot lower price than what other people pay for them. I was just looking at some statistics this last week that in the U.S. there is almost 1 million boat sales a year. It's really close, like 988,000 boat sales a year. That's counting new ones and used ones trading hands. But that's like people buying the dream of owning a boat. And so that dream's still alive, and it's been growing pretty much every year. I'm one of those suckers, so I think I sold my boat to one of those suckers too. I don't know if you should call him a sucker. He's a really nice guy. And just going for the next one someday. How much does it cost to sell land with a real estate agent? Dave Tasset. There you go. That's a beautiful question, Dave. So lots of times a real estate agent with houses will aim for 6%. This last house I sold two houses in the last 2 weeks. One of them is like negotiated $1,500 all in real estate agent fees, smaller dollar house. The other one I negotiated, and this is the key. This is the answer to the question: is you can negotiate the rates to the real estate agent. I negotiated a tiered, bigger and bigger percentage rate, the higher and higher price that they could get for the house, and it didn't sell as well as I thought it would. And she ended up coming back and renegotiating the rates with me, but I renegotiated the rates because she was like not going to get anything at the prices it ended up selling for, and I ended up kicking her 2%. So I gave her 2%, which was a lot of money on the sale. But so that was on the buyer's agent side, and then on the seller's agent, me being the seller, on the buyer's agent negotiated a 2.5%, and so with the price we settled on, I did 2% on the seller and 2.5% for the buyer's agent. So I ended up paying 5.5%. And then as we got into negotiations on fixing stuff in the house, the person that wanted to buy the house wanted stuff fixed. And I said, no. And, this is a price. Like, you're already getting a really good price. I accepted a lower price than I was asking and everything just to get it closed and done and gone. And they wanted stuff fixed. And the real estate agents ended up reducing their commission in the transaction to cover the stuff that the buyers wanted fixed to get the deal closed and still get whatever the commission was that they wanted. So they didn't get the full 2% and 2.5% that they were hoping for, but they took a cut in that to fix some stuff along the way. I thought that was pretty stand up of the agents too. So that's houses. On land, I've been more likely to run into the 10% kind of number, like a 10% commission for real estate agents, 5% to the buyer, 5% on the selling side. And that seems to be more common for vacant land. Vacant land is usually smaller dollars per transaction. It's usually a lot more questions, a lot more, it's not as normal of a market as selling a house. A house is more standardized. You would think with all this moving bits and pieces of a house, it would be a more complicated sell than vacant land. But the real estate agents seem to say and conclude that selling vacant land is a lot harder than selling a house. So they want to charge more for it, and they tend to like the 10%. I've tried listing properties without real estate commissions on there, and they sell, but they don't sell as well. And you put 3% on there, they sell, but they don't sell as well as 5%. And you put 5% on there, the real estate agents seem to be more inclined to go do the deal and present it to people and try to bag that commission and take off with it. I've had real estate agents call me and tell me that people are calling them and asking for land. Like, they're seeing my listing and they're calling them because they're on Zillow or whatever they paid to be at the top of the list. And they are referring those shoppers to other more expensive properties and getting them to buy those properties instead of mine because those properties have commissions on them that are higher than what mine are. And real estate agents have told me this flat out. Their name, phone number, like, they're negotiating with me. It sounds slimy as can be, and it is, but they're negotiating with me to try to add a better commission onto my properties to have them represent my properties on the sale. They could be the buyer's agent and they could go clip a 5% instead of a 2%. So I've done a lot more listings at 5%, offering 5% to the buyer's agent, and that seems to get a lot more deals to go through. It's not the magic ticket. Like, I've also tried 15 and 20% commissions on properties to see if they go really fast and see if that just gets all the agents to dance and close the deal quick. But that doesn't seem to be the winning ticket either. So I've tested a lot of different numbers, and it seems to be the 5% works pretty well to offer to the buyer's agents, and 5% if you're selling it through a real estate agent to offer to that real estate agent. And I think a lot of that depends on if you're getting the pictures for them. Like, if you're getting pictures for them, the real estate agent doesn't have to risk any money to go get pictures. Like the $100 or $200 they might pay to get pictures. They don't like to list vacant land if they don't think it's going to sell, and they don't want to pay to go get pictures. And lots of times they try to list the stuff without getting pictures and still get a commission. I don't like that. I think you should get your own professional pictures taken or really negotiate with that agent if they're going to do it and win. and if they're going to get video and if they're going to give tours. A lot of them will not give tours of vacant land. They'll tell people where it is and send them out there to go look at it, but they won't give them tours. And some of them are happy to give tours. And I like that agent a lot better, in my opinion, the ones that tell me up ahead of time if they're going to not give tours. Like if they're not, then I'm going to price that into the commission because they're just taking calls for me. And if they're giving tours, I'd like to price that in the commission because it's gas and it's time and it's energy for them to get out there. But I think if they're giving tours, they're probably signing those people up as their, as their agent going forward. So I think that's a good reason for them to give tours anyway. Okay, so back to the properties. So we're looking at this 18 acres, $8,900 in Arizona in Apache County. And again, this is another one with junipers, and it looks like there's cows on the land, and they got pictures out there. A lot of this Arizona property is open range land. There's cows running around, and if you don't want the cows in your property, you got to build a proper fence to keep them out. It's usually some description in the legal that says three strand barbed wire to proper, they'll list out the standard ranch standards to keep the cows out. And and then the cows will just run around your property and go on everyone else's. So these guys here, these look like classic beef cows. The farmer's probably not checking in with them as often as they would with milk cows. It's a lot easier to keep these guys out here running around. GPS coordinates to it. Taxes, $80 a year. Property Owners Association, $184 a year. And look at that, free community well. Install well, catchment, or storage. So you can go get water off a community well. And probably the $184 helps to keep that well maintained, and roads, probably more of it goes to grading the roads every once in a while. Let's see, the next one is 40 acres northeast Arizona. This is probably, it's Apache County. So there's another 40 acres in Apache County. So we just looked at a couple of them. This probably looks a lot like that, but this is $8,900, same price. So I'm guessing the same guy, Rod Hall's got a couple of these 40 acres for $8,900. If you're going to go look at one of them, you might as well go look at a couple of them and pick out your favorite one. And then we got St. Lawrence County, New York, 10.4 acres, $9,995. So these New York ones, I'm always curious to see what the taxes are. A lot of people moving from New York get away from the taxes. And so let's see, St. Lawrence County, New York. I'm also thinking that's probably over by Buffalo or something, by the St. Lawrence River, I would guess, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't know New York that well. And this is Erica Benson. She's doing she's new on the website too. So welcome, Erica. Thanks for signing up to ruralvacantland.com. Thanks for posting properties on here. This is beautiful. We got videos about them. Can't wait to go see some of these videos and welcome you aboard. So welcome. So $9,995. And here's some pictures of the area. Let's see if we can pull this up on a map. Okay, so this one we got the interactive map working. That's good. So we've got there's a stream. It looks like there might be access on this side of the property, or this road goes up this way. It looks like you could make that road longer and get access to the property. I'm guessing there's an easement in there. Look at this. Some of the neighbors have ponds going on. You got a green pond. Maybe they're growing tilapia more than swimming. But there's a river over here. It just looks like a bunch of trees. Is this the St. Lawrence? No. Yeah, this is St. Lawrence, just north of it. Okay. Let's see if we can find that property. So we're in upstate New York. Vermont's over here. St. Lawrence Seaway is just to the north, and this is back here just north of the 11 in the trees. So 10 acres in the trees near a stream in upstate New York. She got seller financing available on here too, guys. Seller financing available. Let's see what she's offering. $12,995 plus $495 document fee. She's asking for 20% down with equal monthly payments for 12 months, 0% APR. No No prepayment penalty, no credit checks. Okay, so she's doing 20% down and then payments over a year. Just talking about the county and the islands in the area. She's got the APNs, all kinds of information. Got GPS coordinates of the property. Taxes are paid. Look at that. Annual taxes, $222. $222. That's really cheap for New York. That's pretty cool. I thought it was going to be like $1,200 or something. So that's very cheap for New York. Very cheap taxes. So here's the 40 acres we were just running by. It's 40 acres in Apache County, and some pictures of, I'm not sure if this is the property, the area. I think these are area pictures. Let's see if we see this one on the map. I think this is in the same area as the other 40 that he's got. It might be right next to it that we were just looking at. Yeah, with St. John's Concho south of there. Okay, so let's go back to the list of properties. Let me kill some of these other websites. And then I'll look at questions here in a second. Let's see what the next one is. Castilla County, Colorado, $799. Here we go. Here's some classic rural vacant land. $799 for quarter acre, Castilla County, Colorado. I'm always amazed at how long some of these stay on the website. Sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's a couple days or a month or two. Dave Ayers keeps doing volume of these style properties. So more power to you, Dave. Thanks for bringing them. Thanks for posting them on the website, doing all you do. Makes a lot of people happy. So there's a road just south of this property. And 25 minutes to the post office in San Luis, 35 minutes to the reservoir, 47 minutes to Ute Mountain, 1 hour to Walmart, 1.5 hours to Taos, New Mexico, 3 hours to Colorado Springs. Got a buy it now button. You can click that and buy it for $799 for quarter acre in Colorado. And he goes in and talks about what you can and can't do on the property. He says it's a state residential, camping RV allowed up to 14 days every 3 months. Please contact Castile County Planning and Zoning to make sure this property is perfect for you. And it gives the county planning and zoning numbers. Camping and RV allowed up to 14 days every 3 months. Okay. Taxes are about $22 a year. Siskiyou County, California. Let's see what this one is. Dog is making noises in the background. She's been swimming like every day for the last 2 weeks. And her hair got really matted. Took her to the barber shop yesterday and shaved her. And now she's bugging because her ears feel different. $4,800. Andrew Goering's got this one. $4,800. Siskiyou County, California, 1 acre. And let's see what this Klamath River Country Estates subdivision. So this is Northern California. A little further north, you'd be in Oregon. I think you get some pretty low taxes and pretty relaxed regulations in this part of the state. And it looks like you got some beautiful blue skies and some trees running around the area. Looks like there might be some rocks there that you could probably use for building supplies or landscaping. Let's see what he says. Says comparables are selling for no less than $10,000 in the area. He's got GPS coordinates of this one, and got to get the maps better on this listing. I'm gonna go through all these listings, try to get the maps going better. It's on my to-do list, guys. So I've got this pulled up on Google Maps here, the GPS off the website, and it looks like it's a lot on a street. Chinchilla Court. You think we have street view there? Come on. Ooh, we got street view at the end of the street. Let's see if we can look down the street. Yeah, it's actually paved street. Look at that. Okay, speed limit 45. So we got some trees in the area. And it's got a stop sign. So this is a bigger road, and it's down here somewhere. It's down over here is the lot. And looks like we got a power line. Wish we could drive back in here. It looks like we got some. It says speed checked by radar on the sign. Do you guys ever believe those signs? Um, yeah, so it looks like I think this road goes down back there and the lot's like back here, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's right up here at this hill. I think it's back there by looking at the map and then looking at this. Maybe we can do some 3D. Yeah, it looks like more of a hill right up front, but then not so much hill back here. Yeah, I think that's fine. First I was questioning the hill, looking at the other side of the street, got a big bank there. Might keep going on the other side of the street, but it looks like you're right down in here. Looks like some other people are building in the area overlooking this stream at the bottom of the valley. I'm not sure what mountain that is in the background. Looks like a nice big mountain in the background. It wouldn't be Mount Shasta, would it? That'd be like south of here. Might be Shasta. Maybe it is Shasta. I guess it would be Shasta. I'm looking south. Yeah, I'm looking dead south. So that's Mount Shasta. So you might have a shot at Mount Shasta to the south. The Shasta's in Siskiyou County. It's not in Shasta County, which everyone thinks Mount Shasta's in Shasta County. Mount Shasta looks at Mount Shasta. It's just in the next county over. Okay, so it's loading slow. So he says he's got this property, $4,800, and the others in the area are selling for $10,000 or more. So 1 acre in Siskiyou County, California. So check that one out. Thanks, Andrew, for bringing that one to the website. Let's take a look at page 2. We'll look at a couple more of these. August Bradshaw. Hey, Luke, you ever need someone to go take pictures of property? All the time. August, I'm trying to get people to take pictures of property all the time. And it's not just about somebody going to take pictures of the property. It's about the logistics. A lot of the picture taking people that are out there are, I'm probably going to stick my foot in my mouth, and I'm not going to be like socially, I stick my foot in my mouth all the time. My wife kicks me for it, depending on what crowd we're in. So I'm just going to keep sticking my foot in my mouth. It's usually the artistic type person, someone that goes to school for psychology or something that doesn't pay that. Psychology can pay well, but maybe literature of the 18th century or some kind of degree like that. And so they didn't pick the most logical thing to go to school for, if they went to school at all. And when it comes to taking pictures, the artistic view is something they're more inclined with than how to get there and what to take a picture of. So they never take a picture of the utilities, even though I ask. They probably don't even know what utilities are. And, I want them to get some skies and some trees, the good stuff and the bad stuff. I want to show people the good stuff and the bad stuff, and just lay it all out there, because I don't want people to go look at the property and get mad at me for something wrong. I just want to show them what's there, and it's a good price, but there might be this kind of driveway, or the street looks awful, or you need to bring your chainsaw to get there. I want to show them what it is, right? And then the right person shows up and they actually buy it, instead of people just getting mad at me. And so that person that I'm trying to paint a picture of for you doesn't usually do so well in finding the properties. So I don't know how many times I've sent those kinds of people out there, the artistic photo taking person, to go find vacant land in the middle of nowhere, and I get pictures that are obviously not of the right property, and sometimes it's not obvious, and people that are more inclined to buy the land and use it are usually a lot better at finding it than the people taking pictures. They go out there and they actually find the land, and then they get mad at me because I got pictures on the website of someone else's land across the street or down the road, or something that they drove by on the way out to the actual land. And that becomes a problem too. So it's a big job to hire somebody to go take pictures of the land and get it right. It's very hard. It's very, very hard. And the logistics of doing that are very hard for me to do with all the paperwork and phone calls and things that I'm juggling on a constant basis. So I usually hire that out. One of the websites that my assistant, helper, right hand, whatever you want to call her, Jessica's working on is Snapper. So there's this website. I'll pull it up here. And we've hired a lot of people off of Thumbtack does really well. I seem to get good quality people off of Thumbtack, but Snapper seems to be kicking in pretty well. And this website's all about photos, where um, Thumbtack is for all kinds of things. Snapper, it's not Snapper mowers. I ran into that before. I want Snapper photos. Might not have the right word. Snapper photography, S-N-A-P-P-R, no E. Okay, S-N-A-P-P-R. So a new age way of spelling Snapper because the old word wasn't available. And so this website, it's you can book them and you get people with ratings and rankings, and if they don't get the right property and stuff, you don't have to pay them. And it's just it systemizes getting pictures a lot better than hiring all kinds of random people along the way, like off of Craigslist or Family Friends Network. Sometimes Family and Friends Network works, but I mean, these people just hop to it and go make it happen. So if you're looking to get into the photo business, I would suggest signing up to Snapper. I might hire you somewhere along the way, but this makes it a lot easier to keep track of who and where and what can take what photos, because I can search, or my assistant can search the different properties and hire accordingly and get the pictures taken. So that's a good one. But also, if you want to do photos for properties, go on to Thumbtack too. So Thumbtack, you probably get paid better on Thumbtack than on Snapper, but you probably get jobs off of both of them. And if you live in rural America somewhere, you'll probably hear land investors giving you contact information every now and then. Hey, can you drive 2 hours over here to this vacant property? I mean, you're going to get jobs from not just me, but other land dealers and real estate agents, and maybe even weddings and funerals and stuff too. I don't know, but they'll hire you for stuff. So you could do that kind of job from anywhere, see what comes up in the area. Okay, let's do the next property. So we got another St. Lawrence County, New York. Let's see what this one is. $13,200. Erica Benson. Thank you, Erica. So St. Lawrence County, New York, 2.1 acres. Looks like she's got videos about it, talking about the county and the area. And this one looks like it's on a paved road. It looks like there's a power line there. I can see the shadows. Looks like there's houses next door. We got the map working. It looks like there's some swamp in the background. I don't think this property's swamp. Maybe we can see the street view, get a better idea. Got some birch trees in there. I mean, it got a house on that side and a house on this side. I would check. I mean, why isn't that supporting like big solid trees? And there's some cattails in there. I would check the drainage of this property. Like, go walk back in there with some boots on, see if you're getting wet or if it's dry. I'm sure it's fine. Sure, it's awesome. You might have to like build your foundation up a little bit to get it totally fly. And even if it is swamp, I mean, you can still do septic systems. I'm not saying it's swamp, but even if it is, there's still septic systems that you can do. I was just in northern Michigan, and I was by a little lake. So look at this. There's farming in the background. I mean, they're like cutting fields in the back right behind this. There might be a pond hole, or is that a tree? I think that's a tree. More of a pine tree than a pond. But these homes were right, not the homes I was staying at, but another lake I visited. The homes were right by the lake. And my mom's house is right by the lake. And the basement's flooding because the lake level's so high. The water levels are really high in Michigan right now. And the house has been there, I don't know, 80-something years or whatever. And the basement's never flooded like this. And now it is because the lake levels are so high. And so she's working on getting the water out of there and things, but the septic system still seems to be fine. The houses I was thinking of are right by another lake that's really high and the water level's high, and the septic systems are built in, they're not traditional septic systems. And I was looking at some of the land that was for sale there, and they were describing what they had to do to get the septic system to work, and you could see it in the other properties that were already built. And they're building They're basically bringing dirt in to build a septic system. Instead of having the septic system underground, they're having the septic system, the leach lines above ground, buried in a mound. And so in the front yard between the road and the house with the water on the other side, they're having these, they almost look like the kind of bank you would build to keep road noise away from coming into your house or something. So you could probably make a multi-use, and they just keep grass on them. You can't plant trees or park on them or whatever because they're septic. And so they leach the sewage into them, and that gets it into the ground, even though the ground is like a foot or two higher than the lake level. It's basically flooded and waterlogged year round. So they were doing that in that particular environment. So it's not like it's not going to work. It's just how much do you have to pay to get it to work. And so here it looks like the neighbors have figured out septic, and I'm sure it's fine to go put it in there. They might just want a tour because not too far in the back. This looks like swamp. This looks like soggy ground here where you're not going to get the septic to work. You'd really have to build up. And this looks like some muck holes and stuff. But it looks like there's farming in between that muck and this property, which is a good sign. It looks like these people might have done a ditch. It's another way of doing it. It's what my grandpa did for some land in Onondaga, Michigan. He bought a bunch of swampland and he ditched it. He put these like 20-foot ditches all the way around the thing and drained it just like this. And it turned into some really, I'm showing the wrong screen. Okay, so this neighbor property has a ditch, and they just did a ditch around the property to drain it. But they've got a water feature going right through the property that this one doesn't. My grandpa did that through a couple sections of land in southern Michigan, Mason County, Michigan, and he cut that land up and he sold that land to a bunch of different families, and farmers could come in and farm what used to be swamp. They can now farm it because of all the ditching that he did around these big pieces of land. He just ditched it out and drained it, and then he'd get he'd have beaver and mink and all kinds of stuff living in those ditches. I remember playing in those ditches as a kid. Crayfish and ducks. You had to clean them out every 20 years or something. But those ditches kept working, kept draining the land, kept the water away from the land. You could build houses, put septics in, and farm it. And it was really black, rich soil from the swamps. So a lot of people have done that in the past. It's not as common to do these days because of environmental regulations of draining swamps and building houses, but you can still do it to some degree here and there. Well, got an error on the website. Too many people looking at the website. Smart Alec Production says, do you know how long Navajo County takes to update its GIS? I'm anxious to see my name show up on the map. Yeah, so Navajo County, I've been looking at maps from like March of this year that are updated with people's names on them. But I mean, really, it could take as long as they want. It just depends on how much they have going on. Sometimes they update them fast, sometimes they don't. I don't know how fast Navajo does it or not. Navajo changed their laws, right? So I did a bunch of splits in Navajo in the past, and you just get it recorded and with a new legal description, and they would map it out, and they'd make it happen. And now the assessor says that it takes so long for them to do new maps, and the paperwork of creating a new APN number for new properties, all the new properties I was making out of the old properties, that they change the laws. And so they want to charge fees. And so they charge $300 now to split a property, basically $300. If you split one, it's $300 plus $50 per property. And they require some basics. One of the main things that I've been running into is what they require is that they require physical access to the property, which makes sense, right? Physical access to the property totally makes sense. They also want legal access to the property, which makes sense. So all the properties I split and I made there, they have legal access, but they don't necessarily have physical access to the property. Like you got to build a driveway, right? And I described them that way to the people that bought them and everything, and the ones that I've presented. That's one of the things that's on my to-do list. I want to update the other ones that are on the website. that you got to build a driveway before you can get a building permit. And you got to build a driveway, and you got to show that driveway to the assessor. And so you got to do paperwork with the assessor, just like you got to do paperwork with the building department to get a building permit, or environmental people to get a septic permit and things. You got to do paperwork. There's a new level of paperwork you have to do in Navajo County now with the assessor if you're buying property that was previously split without meeting all the current regulations that they came up with. And so you got to pay the $300 and show them that that you built the driveway and that you've got legal access into the property. I'm not sure the definition of the physical access, like how much of a driveway you have to build. In some counties, it's got to be big enough for the fire engine and the ambulance and that kind of stuff, which is probably a good idea. You probably want to build it to that grade, whatever the local fire engines and ambulances and stuff are. It'd probably be good to keep in mind how wide and radiuses on turns and things. But I don't believe that Navajo has those standards. You just have to have physical access. You have to be able to drive up in a car, I believe is the understanding that they have there. And so you can show that to them, and then they will do the paperwork to go say, okay, you qualify. You could go to the building department and request a building permit and pay some more fees and do some paperwork over there. So they've been sending letters to people that have been buying land from me recently. The county assessor has, and the county assessor has been telling people, okay, your property doesn't meet the some of the requirements. They don't say exactly what the requirements are, but my understanding that piece of the requirements that they're not meeting is the physical access. And so you got to do the physical access, you got to build the physical access, and then go show that to the assessor and the other things that they're looking for, like the legal access with the easements and stuff, and pay them the fee. They want the money. And they are saying, that law changed June or July of last year, so a little over a year ago. And I've done numerous transactions since then that they processed and they got on the maps and everything. Like, you get them recorded. I mean, that's your land. You own the land. But then the assessor updating the assessor's books and stuff, they're starting to complain, and they're starting to say that they don't want to update the assessor books until the land meets the assessor's new requirements. So I'm not exactly sure how that works out over time on the mapping of the property. Like, if people don't go build a driveway and show them right away, like, do they still map it out? Because they've got to assess the property for taxes. So I'm guessing they still have to assess it. And part of assessing it is they should have it mapped out. It should have its own APN number. So I'm not exactly sure why Navajo is getting so particular about that. But they've been getting more antsy about collecting their $300 fee on every property. So that's something that's been coming up in Navajo. So maybe that's why it's not getting mapped, or maybe I'm not exactly sure. That might be part of it. It might be taking a while. But they've still mapped a bunch of them that I didn't pay those fees on, that didn't have all the requirements to be to meet Navajo assessors specifications. Yeah. So you still own the land. It's just you got to meet their specifications by building a driveway before you can get to a building permit. That's basically the short end of it. So next, TK Dawes says, anything in Arkansas that's I can put a mobile home. Yeah, so I think we were just looking at a couple of them in Arkansas, that the brand new ones on here that were in Carroll County, I think. Both of those looked like you could put mobile homes on them. Sent Kumar Dupal says, hi Luke, I would like to purchase my first property. Can you please give me some pointers? Yeah, that's what this show is about. We're always talking about different properties. I was just giving some pointers earlier on in the show about checking for if the property perks or not. You know, not like 100% professional way, but basic Bubba style checking before you go buy a property, right? Like digging a hole in the ground, dumping water in it. Does the water go away? That's a good sign. Let's see here. I've missed my spot. So keep watching these shows. I'll keep giving you pointers. And then we've got hundreds of properties for sale on the website and others out there in the market if you don't buy from us too. Hopefully you can learn something from some of these questions and answers that I got going on over here to buy your first property. And then EOLS says masking tape is good. Yeah, I don't know. David Evans says, I read online about someone owning land in Apache, Arizona, had it taken off them as natives can claim the land. Any truth in this? That natives... So, it's a very good question. Let me go a roundabout way. So the natives have theoretically been here longer than the Europeans, right? And they're here before the Spanish. They're here before the English. They're here before the French. They're here before a whole bunch of people. And they had all kinds of claims to land, whether they believe they own land or not. They, from this ridge to that ridge is my hunting ground, you know. This is my burial ground. This is our area. And as more people moved in, everyone's jockeying for positions to run their cattle, to build their ranch, to build their house. We're still jockeying for position, right? And so these guys jockey in one way. They say, that's our burial ground. That's our, you know, something special to our native heritage. In Canada, some of the areas, like none of it in the north, they eventually said, okay, forget it, guys. We're trying to solve this over every little feud. You know, every time we go digging somewhere or go building somewhere, the natives got to come in and bless it or, you know, say yay or nay. Like, that doesn't work. It's too much vagrancy about developing the land. So they gave them like the largest piece of land ever, but way north, the middle of nowhere, Canada. And then there's a bunch of resources in there. And the Canadians carved out different areas that they're going to keep for resources. And the Indians probably got the short end of the stick there, but they still got some resources in their land. Other parts of Canada, like British Columbia, they went about it differently. Like, they don't have settled land claims with the natives. And so they want to build these massive pipelines through there. And the natives are like, ah, ha, ha, how much you going to pay? You know, we want $2 billion for you to put a pipeline through our area. And we claim this area all of a sudden because it looks like you're going to build something of value there. Now it's ours, right? Everything before that was ambiguous, not worth fighting for. No one cared until they're going to build something of value. Then all the natives show up so in British Columbia, it's a mess, and none of it, it's all settled. And the U.S. tried to settle that a long time ago with having reservations. Said, okay, here's your land, the rest of it's our land. But the natives still come up and they haggle with things like they do in British Columbia. They say, you know, there's something buried here, or this is special because of, and they might make it so you can't build there and you can't use the land, but you still own it, from my understanding. I don't think they take it away. I mean, maybe if it's really something special, they really pitch a case, they take it away. But in the U.S., when it's taken away, they're supposed to compensate you for it. And so they could theoretically, in my understanding, take it away if they really pitch a big case. But I think they've got to pay you some fair market, whatever they qualify as fair market value for that property. It's never what people think it is, but, you know, some value of that property. And hopefully you could use that money to go get something else. That's one way to look at it. But so the U.S. still has those kinds of ambiguous claims all over, some places more than others. Like all of a sudden the Indians want to build a casino right at the intersection of this big freeway and that big freeway. And that's where they make something up to get access to that land and build, you know. Maybe I'm being too sly about it, but that's my point of view of it. Maybe I'm not answering your question because I don't know the answer, but that's my understanding of it. So they probably could take your land if they really wanted to, but I think that could be anywhere in the U.S. I'm still trying to get my website to work and pull up the listings. I'm getting a database error. So, well, now it's working. Let me just click through. So we were on page 2. I've got to get off of this call because I got a couple things I want to do today. I got to get to the bank. I got to call a bunch of people back. But let's keep looking at some land. So we did St. Lawrence. We got a couple St. Lawrence. I'm going to go a little faster. Here's some Navajo County. We got some Valencia County, New Mexico, $2,000 for 5 acres. Holy cow, look at that. $2,000 for 5 acres in Valencia County, New Mexico. We got some Steuben County, New York. Steuben County, New York, $4,995 for 1 acre. 3.95 acres in Emmett County, Michigan. I was just in Emmett County like a couple days ago. I went up to Mackinac Island. I took my kids to Mackinac Island, which is just north of Emmett County. And look at that picture. So here's a classic. Let's do the picture right before that. Here's a classic picture of Lake Michigan. This is a sand dunes and this kind of grass and trees and stuff. This is poplar trees. And just Lake Michigan's got some beautiful colors. The water was super warm this last week or two. Did a lot of swimming in Lake Michigan and numerous different sites. It was beautiful. I love Lake Michigan. Emmett County, the county that this land is in, has a big coastline of Lake Michigan. I would love to someday roll through that coastline and make offers on all the vacant land on that coastline. I hope to do that in the next, year. Try to get it ready for next summer, I think. But I'd love to do that in lots of the lakes in this area. So I think it's cool that, who is this? Erica Benson is doing Emmett County, Michigan, and she got some land in Emmett County, Michigan. So there's Little Traverse Bay. There's Bay Harbor. That's like where Madonna lives. Madonna has a house up here. Those kinds of names there's an area up here that's just big time money, fancy, helicopter access only properties. Not only, but that's how people get in and out of there. They have their private jets and they come for the summer months, July and August, and they spend the best times there and they go for it. It's just beautiful land. It's really green. It's a lot of cool stuff going on. So it's Emmett County, it's northern Michigan. And then in the middle of the winter, you got Pellston is the major airport that's in the area. That continuously scores the coldest place in America when people are checking the weather. Pellston's, ooh. And so it's got the pros and cons. Beautiful summer, very cold winter. Harbor Springs, Odin. Here's Odin. We just went to fish. There's a brand new fish hatchery in Odin. The water's so clear. Monster brown trout, rainbow trout, some other trout I can't think of. And let's see. So let's see where this property is. 3.95 acres. I think it's one of these chunks in here. She's got videos. She'll describe it a lot better than I can. She's doing 20% down owner financing for 12 months with no interest. She's bumping the price up. $24,000 to do the owner financing, or $18,000 cash discount price. 3.95 acres. Here's APN number, Emmett County, Michigan. GPS coordinates. Let's see if we can get that to open up. $248 a year taxes. That's pretty cheap, in my opinion. So Black Hole Nature Preserve. I've never been on this side of the lake. I've been on the other side.